People, welcome back. Right, we're carrying on with the van build today, the Vauxhall Vivaro stereo today. We're going to change the factory fitted, I think it's CD30 stereo that's in the van. It's knackered anyway, my disc is stuck in there, you can't change radio stations. We're going to change that out. What I'm going to use is, I don't know if you've seen these on Fleabay, but it's the cheap Chinese LCD doubled in. You can put a camera into the back, a reverse camera. I've been using one in the T4 for the last 3 years, and previously from that I had one in the other T4 for about 3-4 years, no problems. So I like it because I can put most of my music on memory card, stick it in, job done. This one you can Bluetooth and you can screen mirror. And as well it came with a little steering control. Hey! So I'll spot me around, have a quick look at what we got, and then we'll get out and do some fitting. That's it basically. You get the box, you get the stereo, but you got obviously a USB memory card, on off, usual stuff. And then in the back you've got your ports, you've got your video in as well for your reverse camera. You get in the pack a reverse camera and leads, some instructions, and obviously the stereo leads as well with just wired ends, and then your little steering wheel control. I think I paid, what are we on, we're in June 23, and I think I paid £20 or £21 for the lot. I'll be using my Kiwis digital voltmeter just to check some of the wiring. Let's not waffle, let's get out there and start. Right, so I managed to get the old radio out, and I had some old radio prongs from before. I bent one out, put him in the holes, and managed to slide the radio out because obviously they activate the little tabs on the side. I'm lucky with the radio that on top comes up a little wiring diagram. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get it to stand up for me. Stay. So that gives me the wiring diagram on the back of the multi-plug. Now I didn't want to go and buy from a big reputable car parts supplier. You're in the UK. I didn't want to go and pay £25 to have a block that would go, a universal block to go from there with just wire ends. So what I done, I spliced in to the original loom with me wire splitters, and that allowed me, instead of, if I get a bit of wire I can show you, instead of just, let me clip it onto something a minute. Right, can you see? Where are you? There you are. Instead of actually just knifing the wire or breaking the wire in two, what it actually allows you to do, put it through, and it actually splits open the wire. So then obviously I can strip the new wire in, wrap around and tape over, and I've connected to the loom without having to cut the loom apart. So anyway, I done that. Yep, done all the speakers up. I've connected everything. I had to take a live. There's 2 lives on these Chinese ones, like most radios. One to keep the clock going, the battery in the clock. Second one is to, when you turn the key on, it'll knock the power on and off to the radio. So I needed an ignition live. Well, I was lucky that my cigarette lighter is keyed live, which means when you turn the ignition on, power comes to it, but when you turn the ignition off, it knocks it off. So I managed to again splice in, took a wire up through behind the dash, and that's my ignition live. So if I tuck this just quickly in like so, so when I turn the ignition on now, we should have power to the stereo. The next thing we'll do then is the rear camera, but let's just check we got power and speakers and everything. So that's ignition on because my clocks have come on. So stereo's coming on. It's reading because I put my SD card in there. So there you are. Speakers are working. I'm not going to play too much because of obviously copyright. But I put my memory card out of my old one in here already. So that is all working at the moment. That's the model number that I've gone for. So I'm not going to waffle. I'll route the cable now for the rear camera. Is going to go behind the dash. I'll show you where I've routed it once I've done it. It's going to come up to the headline and it's taken down along, and then in the back where I took the second camera. So I'll show you that once I've got it run through now. One thing quickly I've got to mention was the booklet that comes with the radio is quite good really. It shows you the colours of the wires and where they go. And obviously I correlated that with what was already on the multi-plug. So it was really, I'd say not a no-brainer, but it's fairly straightforward. The only ones that I didn't use, I'll stick this where you can see as well. The only ones I didn't use was the blue for the antenna. No need, I haven't got a powered aerial. Green for the illumination. I didn't want the stereo to go into dark mode when I got my lights on, because you can do that manually as well. And the orange brake light. There was no need for the brake light, hand brake light to come on to show I'm parked, because that again will disrupt if you're watching a film in the front, which you shouldn't be when you drive in. But yeah, so I'll be using the pink is for the reversing camera for the power. Yellow is your constant 12-volt supply from your battery. Your brown again is keyed for the steering wheel control, but I'm not using that. Green I'm not using, blue I'm not using, black is earth, and the red ACC is the ignition switch. So that's off your switch. So there you are. Let's get in the back now, do the camera. Right, I removed the door card. That's the camera we're wiring into. So I've pulled the cable through. There was already a split in my rubber, so I used that with a piece of wire to pull the lead through at the moment. I've got that connected together. Now I've got to fit on this red and this red from the camera. I've got to pick up the reverse light, which you can see is on there. So I've taken this side out. This is the fit-in for the reverse camera. Let me see if I can see it. And what I got to do is, if I can get this out of the way, basically I want to check that that's 12 volt down there. So if I put my one set onto the body of the van, can you see the meter? Probably not, so look. Yeah. And then if I touch that to there, we get in a reading, but not a very good one, because it's in a very good earth. Let's have a go again. But yeah, here we are. 11.27 volts. So that's saying to me now that the wire that's connected to that prong, which is the white, is the power lead. So I need to connect to that. Connect it up, and then I'll come back and give you a look. Alright, Sexy Joe's joined us. So there we are. That's the setup. Obviously cellophane got to come off. All the cables hidden back in. Everything's wired up. All this will be hidden